Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to the pre-advising meeting for transfers into the College of Nursing and Health Sciences. My name is Tammy Bender, and I'm the Assistant Dean of Student Services here in the college. So I oversee the Academic Advising Office. And here is our agenda for the next 20 minutes or so. As you can see, do leave plenty of time for questions and answers. So feel free to use the chat if you have questions along the way. You don't have to hold questions until the end, and I'll be happy to answer all questions at the end of the presentation. So just to get us started, I want to talk about communication and resources now that you're officially starting as a UVM student. Up until now, you've likely been receiving your communications through your admissions portal and your personal email. So this could be your Gmail, it could be your previous college email. But now that you are an active UVM student, all of your communication is going to be sent to your UVM email address. Your academic advisors and your faculty will only have your UVM email address. After you've been admitted, we don't receive all of the, personal emails for students, and so everything is going to be sent directly to your UVM email. So just make sure you've started checking it over the summer. And over the summer, I will be serving as your academic advisor. All transfers into the College of Nursing and Health Sciences will be assigned to a faculty advisor in their specific major at the start of the fall semester. So once faculty are back at the end of August, you'll be assigned to your faculty advisor. But in the meantime, I'm your academic advisor for summer course registration, and I will be sending communications to your UVM email address. The My UVM student portal is where you log in with your UVM NetID and password. So your UVM NetID is really what you use in most of the applications we're going to be talking about. My UVM student portal is different from your admissions portal. It's separate from that new student checklist and where everything on the admissions side lives. The My UVM student portal is where you can update your personal information. That's where you can update your permanent address, your mailing address. It's where you register for classes. It's where you check your grades. It's where you view your course schedule and see where your classrooms are located. It's where you can start reviewing like the different textbooks that you need to buy for your classes. And it's where your classes are going to be linked in the future, any electronic classes. So this is going to become more useful once the semester starts, but in the meantime, just make sure you have access to it and you know how to navigate around it. There are two video conferencing applications that you're going to need. One is Microsoft Teams, and the other is Zoom. Microsoft Teams is the standard application for UVM, and so all UVM students are required to use Microsoft Teams. This is the platform where, if you have a class and you're, need to join it remotely, the class is going to take place. Zoom is required for everybody in the College of Nursing and Health Sciences, though. So this is the platform that is more widely used by your instructors and academic advisors, specifically in CNHS. And your summer course registration appointment is also going to take place over Zoom. So just be sure that both of those are readily available on your laptop. Brightspace is the UVM learning platform, and it's linked on the MyUVM student portal. So again, your NetID and password is all that you need to log into Brightspace. This is where your instructors are going to upload the class syllabus, and it's also where any assignments that need to be turned in electronically are going to live. So you'll begin seeing information added to Brightspace closer to the start of the semester. So don't worry if you don't see anything there until around mid-August. That's completely normal. This is also where your list of required textbooks are going to be available. Navigate 360, that is an app that you can add to your phone, or you can just use your browser on your laptop. And it allows you to make appointments with certain support services on campus, including your course registration appointment. So you're going to start using it over the summer. But this is also where, for example, you can sign up for a tutoring appointment once the semester gets started. So You can download the link to the app right on the orientation website or the new student checklist. And then finally, the Zini app is on the orientation website, and this is the official UVM social media platform for admitted students. So if you're looking to start talking to other students in your major before you even get to campus, be sure to give this a try. If you want to talk to other transfer students, this is a great one to, just go poke around. And of course, there's more than this, but I'd say that these are the biggies I definitely wanted to highlight. Okay, so on to your course registration appointments. So this is really what we're prepping for today. Um, Over June and July, there are going to be individual course registration appointments, and all transfer students in CNHS will be meeting with me. And so some of you may already know me, but we're going to be meeting on Zoom to get you registered for classes, and this is going to take place between June 9th and July 3rd. So this morning, you all received an email to your UVM email account that would allow you to sign up for this course registration appointment. So it came today, May 29th. Be sure to go find that email in your inbox if you haven't already and sign up for that course registration appointment. You can pick any day and time that works best for you. So all of the options will be laid out there, and you just select the one that works for your schedule. Then I'll be sending you a Zoom link before the session takes place, and you just have to join that Zoom link at the time that you registered for. If you've been poking around my VM, the student portal, you may have noticed that you already have a few classes preloaded. These are just to hold spots in particular classes. You will have the opportunity to review them with me and discuss them. And we're going to finalize your schedule together. So if you're looking at those preloaded courses and they don't look quite right to you, don't worry. This is just a starting point. Consider it like a first draft. Um, this course registration appointment is not the only time that we can be in contact. I'm here all summer, and so I know that you may be having additional transfer credit coming in over the summer, and if things need to be evaluated, if there's something that, transfers in not as a direct equivalency, and you want to send a syllabus in for review and, then change your schedule again later, that's all completely fine. This is the course registration appointment to, get you registered, get you started, but you can still make changes over July and August if needed, especially if you're waiting on your final grades from last semester or your summer classes. And so just a little note about AP credit and transfer credit. It would be great if you could send in any transfer credit that you have in advance of the course registration meeting, just so that I'm able to review it and see what course requirements you've already checked off towards your degree. And official transcripts can be sent to transfer@uvm.edu, and that allows UVM Transfer Affairs to evaluate how your previous college courses look on UVM course codes. So you do need a grade of C or better to receive credit at UVM. And so if you had any grades below C, they won't come in as transfer credit, but they also will not impact your UVM GPA. So your GPA here starts fresh. If you received AP credit at your previous college, it will need to be evaluated again to receive those same AP course equivalencies at UVM. And so even if you received course credit for your AP scores on your transcript before transferring here, you will still need to go ahead and send your AP scores over to UVM unless you'd already selected us as a recipient. If we are already selected as a recipient, we may already have them. If not, you can just go into your College Board account and have them resent. Okay, so the summer placement exams are going to be linked on your new student checklist. And the ALEX Math Placement exam is actually optional for most of our majors. So the only majors that are required to take the ALEX Math Placement exam are Medical Laboratory Science, which is also called Biomedical and Clinical Sciences this year, and Medical Radiation Science, also called Radiation Therapy. All of our other majors, it's optional if you want to take the math placement. You don't need to do a math placement exam for statistics. It's just for calculus. So unless you're planning to take calculus as an elective or as a, pre-med requirement, in one of the other four majors, you don't need to take it. Similarly, the foreign language placement is optional for all of our majors. It's recommended for communication sciences and disorders, and that's because CSD is the only major in our college that does require a language to graduate. If you're not planning to take a language in the fall semester, though, you don't have to take it this summer. I also just wanted to briefly mention FERPA. Many of you may already know about FERPA from your previous college. It works the same here at UVM. FERPA is the Family Educational Rights and Privacy Act, and this is what protects your privacy for anything like your grades, your course schedule, who your advisor is. All of that is confidential information unless you'd like us to discuss it with your family. So you do have the option to submit a waiver form. It's available on the registrar's office website, and this allows you to share information with your parents or other family members. If you fill out the FERPA rights disclosure form and return it to me, then I can add it to your record. And this will allow me to discuss your academic records with your parents. This is different from the proxy form that's for financial information. So if you filled out the proxy form, just know that doesn't cover the education and academic record side of things. I recommend that all students just discuss this with their parents and have a conversation before the start of the semester. So, if you filled out a FERPA form at your previous college, it doesn't transfer over here. You'd have to discuss it and send the form in again. Um, and you're allowed to send the form in at any time, and you can also revoke it at any time. So the power is really in your court. Okay, so each major in the College of Nursing and Health Sciences does have specific academic standards. Um, I've given an overview on the screen here. These are the GPA and course requirements that you need in order to stay in good academic standing. The full details on the academic requirements for each major are in the undergraduate handbook. You're going to be sent a copy of that at the beginning of next week, and it's also going to be linked on your new student checklist. I'd recommend reviewing it before we have our course registration meeting, those meetings that take place between June 9th and July 3rd that you'll be signing up for, just so that if there's something you read in the handbook, you can come prepared with questions to ask me at our meeting. And so the undergraduate handbook that's going to be emailed to you, it's going to go over all of those academic standards in more detail. And it also covers the requirements that are called essential functions and clinical requirements for each major. Essential functions are different from academic standards because they focus on the criteria for behavior that has to be demonstrated in order for you to be in a professional program. So this includes the code of ethics. The code of ethics also includes academic integrity. And you likely know what academic integrity is. I'd recommend just reviewing this, full handbook and the UVM policy. UVM's policy on academic integrity is, it's built around a system of trust that students aren't going to plagiarize or cheat on assignments or exams. Violations of academic integrity can have some pretty serious consequences. It could be, a zero on the specific assignment, but it can be up to and including failing the entire class. I'm not saying any of this to be alarming. I just want you to be aware of the policy. Just make sure you read through it, and understand everything, and if you're ever unclear about something, I always recommend just asking. Like if you're not sure if something is allowed in a specific class or by a specific instructor, it's better to just ask in advance and make sure you're informed instead of making assumptions. Okay, so starting to wrap it up, this is what would be helpful before your first course registration appointment with me. Um, it's I understand that not everybody has all of their final grades yet on their transcript for last semester. So if you can have your transfer credit sent in to UVM before we meet, awesome. If you can't, I would just recommend preparing a list of any dual enrollment, transfer credit, AP credit, anything you've done for college credit before you're starting the fall semester, including any summer classes you may be enrolled in right now. This is just going to help me figure out what are the best classes to help you register for the fall. Um, During this meeting, just make sure that you have steady internet access. I'd recommend being on a laptop, not using your phone so that you can share your screen if we run into any technical difficulties. And make sure you have access to your UVM email and MyUVM during that meeting. You will need to use MyUVM during the meeting. That is where you go register for the classes. Um, if you have time to log into MyUVM before the meeting and actually add the My Courses card to your front page, that also will just kind of save us some time in the meeting. If you can't find it or if MyUVM is confusing to you, don't worry. I will be there to walk you through step by step. So if you're poking around and you can't really figure it out, that's okay. Just make sure, bare minimum, you have access to MyUVM and you can use it during our meeting. And then finally, I would just recommend that you bring a list of questions prepared in advance. We have about 30 minutes together during this meeting, and sometimes the time goes really quickly. We can always do a follow-up appointment, but I just want to make sure that everybody has all of their questions answered as quickly as, they want them to be. So prepare that list of transfer credit you're expecting, questions you want to ask during the meeting, and then just make sure you have access to MyVM to actually add the classes. Okay, so I'm going to stop recording and we can go to a little Q&A session.